All right. We are about to pull back the curtain on one of nature's most, well, violent creations. And in this explainer, we're not just going to look at a tornado. Oh no. You and we're going to build one, step by step, right from the ground up.
You know the classic image, right? That dark funnel just descending from a storm cloud, reaching down for the ground. I mean, that's the story we've all been told our whole lives.
Yeah, well, it's completely wrong. A tornado isn't some thing that just drops out of the sky. It's an engine that's built inside a storm, piece by powerful piece. And the real story? It starts way before you ever see a thing.
Okay, so to really get this, you have to forget the clouds for a minute and start right down here on the ground. Picture this. You've got this layer of warm, humid air. It's light, it's buzzing with energy, and all it wants to do is rise. But then, moving in right above it, you've got this heavy cap of cold, dry air. And these two, they do not mix well. They just stack up, creating this incredible tension in the atmosphere, almost like a stretched rubber band just waiting to snap. That instability, that's the raw fuel for the storm.
Now, for the secret ingredient. This is the one thing most people have never heard of, but it is absolutely critical. It's called wind shear. Without it, you just don't get a tornado, period. So imagine this. Down near the ground, the winds are kind of blowing gently from the south, but go up just a few thousand feet, and they are screaming from the west at over 100 miles an hour. That radical difference in speed and direction, that's wind shear. So what does that wind shear actually do? Well, it gets the air caught between those two layers to start tumbling over on itself. It literally creates this horizontal tube of spinning air, just rolling across the landscape like a giant invisible log in the sky. But, and I really have to stress this point, we have rotation in the atmosphere, sure, but this is not a tornado. We are not even close. Think of this as just the first gear engaging in a much, much bigger and more complex machine.
So the big question is, how does this horizontal spin turn into a vertical tornado? Well, this right here, this is the game-changing moment. The thunderstorm that's been brewing, fueled by all that unstable air we talked about, it has this incredibly powerful updraft, basically a column of air just rocketing upwards. And this updraft, it acts like a giant hand. It reaches down, grabs that horizontal spinning barrel of air, and just yanks it completely upright, tilts it into the vertical. And when that happens, you get this, a mesocyclone. We're not talking about some small vortex here. This is a vast storm-scale rotation. We're talking miles wide, spinning deep inside the thunderhead. At this point, the storm has officially become a supercell. It's organized, it's rotating, and believe me, it is now incredibly dangerous. So I know what you're thinking. A miles-wide rotating column of air inside a supercell. Surely this is it, right? This has to be the main event. Nope, not yet. Even this monstrous rotation isn't the tornado itself. Think of it as the parent. It's the system that gives birth to the tornado. And the most violent part of this whole process, it's still to come. So what happens next is this just violent collision inside the storm. You've got this pocket of rain-cooled air. It gets really dense and heavy, and it just crashes toward the ground. They call it the rear flank downdraft. And it smashes head-on into that warm, moist air that's still rushing upward into the mesocyclone. This collision, it acts like a vice, just squeezing and tightening that broad rotation into a much, much smaller, more concentrated area. And honestly, the best analogy for what happens next is a figure skater. Think about it. When they're spinning with their arms out, they're going at a certain speed. But the second they pull their arms in tight to their body, whoosh, their rotation speeds up dramatically. Well, the storm does the exact same thing. As that downdraft squeezes the rotation, forcing it into a narrower and narrower column, the spin just accelerates violently. And at this point, we've triggered a terrifying feedback loop. See, the faster that column of air spins, the more the air pressure inside of it just plummets. And as that pressure drops, it creates an even stronger vacuum, which sucks in more air, which, you guessed it, makes it spin even faster. The storm is literally feeding itself now, concentrating all of that massive energy into one single ferocious point. And this brings us to the moment of birth. A tornado isn't born when you see a funnel cloud hanging in the air. No, it is officially born at the instant that intensely rotating column of air, driven by that insane low pressure, makes contact with the ground. That dust and debris you see kicking up, that's it. That's the confirmation. The connection has been made.
And the power that's just been unleashed is, well, it's almost incomprehensible. The wind speeds inside that vortex can top 300 miles per hour. Let me put that in perspective for you. That is faster than a Formula One race car at full throttle.
But here's the thing that makes a tornado so uniquely destructive. It's not just the speed. A normal hurricane-force wind, as powerful as it just pushes with incredible force in one direction. A tornado, it doesn't just push. Its winds are rotating. They're rising. They're attacking a building from every single angle all at the same time. It doesn't push things over. It rips them apart.
So you have this multi-directional force, and you combine that with a sudden catastrophic drop in air pressure on the outside. What happens? Buildings fail from the inside out. It's not that the wind is blowing them over. It's that the normal, higher air pressure inside the building suddenly has nowhere to go but out, causing the walls to literally explode outward. Roofs are lifted straight up into the air. The destruction is just absolute. But even this incredible, awe-inspiring power has a weakness. It has an Achilles heel. See, a tornado can't last forever. It absolutely requires a constant supply of its fuel, that warm, moist air rising up from the ground. The moment that supply line gets cut off, and often it's by its own rain-cooled downdraft wrapping around and choking it out, the engine just dies. And the collapse can be unbelievably fast. The visible funnel narrows, becoming thin, almost like a rope.
The connection to the ground is lost. That violent rotation just starts to break apart. And then, just as quickly as it formed, it's gone. It doesn't just fade away, it ends. The machine has been switched off.
So you see, a tornado doesn't just fall from the sky. That's the myth. The reality is that it's the final, violent act in a long, drawn-out war in the atmosphere. It's built piece by piece, only when all the perfect ingredients of pressure, wind, and instability align in just the right way, and the sky decides to turn against the ground.